Hi, I'm Amy Ruza, an educator at the Rockwell Museum in Corning, New York. I'm going to be talking about how art can be a way to express our ideas about our human connection to nature. It can also function as activism and illuminate issues about our environment and sacred lands. Now, the environment is a very common theme that many artists incorporate into their artwork. Artists use their artistic voice and creative self-expression to highlight important topics that explore our relationship with our environment. This includes natural environments, built environments, and social environments. Art serves so many functions in our society. It can serve as one person's creative outlet, it can beautify the world, and it could provoke awareness and ask the viewer to participate and think about artwork in a new way. I'm going to be talking about a sculpture in the Rockwell collection, Ancient Elder, by internationally renowned Cochiti Pueblo artist Virgil Ortiz. Artist Virgil Ortiz is an active artist. His artwork is often described as captivating, provocative, and edgy. He continues to work in many mediums and stretches the boundaries of possibilities through storytelling in his art. Mediums that he works in are clay, pottery, also photography, video and film, fashion, lithography, and even glass. He is very experimental with these mediums, often incorporating traditional methods and techniques, but also through innovation and storytelling, he shares history through a unique perspective that brings attention to issues of Native American communities.
Well, I come from Cochiti Pueblo, New Mexico. I've lived there since I was a kid. I do travel a lot because a lot of my manufacturing for my leather accessories and handbags are done in Los Angeles, but I grew up in Cochiti, working in a family that were all potters on my mother's side. So my forte would be pottery, and that's what everything is, kind of the heartbeat that everything else, all the different mediums I do work in, flow around the clay works.
His mythological, science fiction themed characters, known as the 1680/2180 Pueblo Revolt series, allow him the freedom to express his personal interpretation of the historical 1680 Pueblo Revolt, which he considers to be the first American Revolution. He narrates a story with these characters, a story of courage, perseverance, appreciation, and hope for the future. He says, "Art saves lives." I love that quote, "Art saves lives." It indicates how art can be an expressive outlet for the creative process that allows us to share perspectives about the world in which we live. All of his characters are complex and multifaceted, and through his storytelling, he teaches about history, he places Native Americans as superheroes, and stimulates our imagination of a future revolt where Native people come together, form alliances to fight back and restore their native lands in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
I have dedicated my life to really educate not only Cochiti people, but the world in general of the story of the Pueblo Revolt that happened in 1680. None of the schools really teach the Pueblo Revolt history in any of the history books, or they're not in the history books. It's not in any history lessons in the classroom at all. So I really tried to figure a way out how to capture the attention of the kids. And I was growing up and I was heavily influenced by films such as Star Wars or Star Trek, the real sci-fi kind of fun movies. So I had to really brainstorm in myself to see how I could do that and apply it to teaching the story of the Pueblo Revolt. So I then said I'm going to write a movie script about the Pueblo Revolt, not only taking place when it happened in 1680, but also in the future in 2180.
Ancient Elder is one of his sci-fi characters, known as an oracle guide embodying wisdom and knowledge of our ancestors. Now, this sculpture is made out of clay, material of the earth. And clay is harvested from sacred grounds. And in New Mexico area, that would be from nearby mountains. And gathering clay is a very laborious process. It involves sifting and purifying the clay to remove any impurities before sculpting it and working with it. Now also, wild plants, such as the wild spinach plant, is harvested and boiled down to form a thick, dark paste. And this becomes the black paint or slip that is then applied to the surface of the figure for all of the detail work that you see. So if you look closely, you can see the intricate fine line detail. We see all of the circles across, the triangles. We see the incredibly detailed line work throughout. And remember, this is all done by hand, spirals on top of the shoulder armor. And it's just incredible to think how much time and precision this takes. And then looking at the figure holistically as a whole, it appears to be standing strong. We have the feet planted firmly on the ground, the hands are crossed over the abdomen, of course there's all the body armor, and then the head is tilted up with the eyes looking out in a proud stance. The elder provides navigation. It provides guidance for building the relationships between people and future beings to fight for justice and equality. The narrative that's unraveled becomes a dark history of upheaval where we are overpowered within our environments. Today, there are many economically challenged regions of people that often do not have power over the regions of land in which they live. And sometimes there is disregard for the building of toxic areas or structures that impact the environment, and that can impact people's health and well-being, and also the health of the planet. Now we're going to change gears and talk about street art. In 2016, Virgil Ortiz visited Corning, New York, and collaborated with the Rockwell and high school students of the High School Learning Center to create a mural that was painted in town. Working together, students enhanced Virgil's characters with symbolic elements that represent their hopes and future dreams for society, such as equality for all people. Across the mural are three characters of the 2180 Revolt. We see on the far left is Coots, and this character is depicted wearing a gas mask. The air is not pure or safe to breathe. And Ortiz suggests the environmental impact of nuclear weapons of mass destruction that require us to wear gas masks and oxygen tanks to survive. Moving to the central figure, we see Tahu, leader of the blind archers. And the blind archers do not rely on sight to guide them. As you can see, her eyes are covered by cloth. She's guided by her internal instincts. And this woman leader connects to the matrilineal society of the Cochiti Pueblo, in which women are highly regarded and respected.
Starting with the Da'u, which is the main character, she's the leader of the blind archers. So she's the center figure in the mural. And I created the whole storytelling around a woman figure, just in sense to have it really stand up for women empowerment and not only the people in the Pueblo, but women in general.
On the far right of the mural, we see Translator Spirit, who is not bound by space or time, a fascinating, cool feature. This character is the commander of the Spirit Army world and serves as a connection between people and ancestors of the past with people and warriors of the present and the future. Overall, themes presented in Ortiz's artwork are of social justice, reversing the oppression of Pueblo people by the invasion of the Spanish, and the impacts to our environment. And with that, I want to ask you a couple of questions and think about how they may pertain to you and your life. So the first question is, what issues are important to you? And then thinking about these issues, how would you advocate for them through artistic, creative self-expression? One example is the creation of a superhero to deal with these issues. And this is exactly what Ortiz has done through his work. And we can think about how this might spark ideas of preserving the earth for future generations. Thanks for taking the time to learn about artist Virgil Ortiz with me today. Be sure to check out our other resources and videos on our website in this series, including an appropriation collage project. We also have our e-museum that allows you to explore our collections digitally. And be sure to visit the Rockwell Museum in person when you can. Thanks for tuning in.